Okay, this is my second attempt on this video. I tried recording one in the lab, and the sound was horrific because of the background noise. So I'm having to redo this one. And in going back and looking at this week's videos, I said I was going to address the window tagging on this little office, and I've tried a couple of ways to do it, and the you saw me fiddling around trying to get this merge leaders thing to work, and it just wouldn't work right. So the best way that I found to do it is just use the add and remove host. So we'll turn on leader, and let's pick one, and let's kind of adjust it so that we've got a shoulder, which is really is the way that it should be in using these things. You should have a short horizontal shoulder. Now let's go up here to add remove host. Oh, let me go back. I need to turn on merge leaders. Now I'll go add remove host. What? Let's start over with that. Turn that on, add remove host. There we go. So that's how it should work. And now you can move this and adjust it. So I'll run through it again. Merge leaders, add remove host. There. All right, so that's how that would work. Okay. Now let's look at the door schedule. We've talked a lot about these kind of things. So you remember back then, especially with our floor plans and our elevations and sections, we can create view templates, and you can create a view template for a door schedule. But the only thing it affects is the appearance. Okay, and so I got my door schedule here. So let's go to view templates, create template from current view. And we're just going to call it schedule. All right. Phase filter could work, I guess, but for the most part, all of these get turned off. Appearance is the only thing that will apply to a schedule. And so let's go in here and edit this, and let's turn on the outline and make that wide lines. Okay. Now, wherever you work is going to determine these things. I'm just showing you that it is possible to do that so that you're not having to make those changes to every schedule you create. And of course, you get this set up and it would be in your template that you're going to be using for your project. All right, so we'll tell that OK and OK. And now in this schedule, let's go ahead and apply that view template to it. And when we start placing these things on drawing sheets, let's go ahead and create a drawing sheet. And we'll leave it at well, go ahead and change it. Okay, and so let's drag our door schedule in here and a room finish schedule. We just go ahead and place some schedules in here. Now that, let me turn off. And if we zoom in, you can see now this one has a wide line outline all the way around the schedule, whereas this one does not. Okay, and when you print it, it would be very visible, but in looking at it here in the Revit sheet, it's kind of not. But that's how a view template would work for you, okay? So let's close that down. Let's close that down. Now, we can use schedules to create material takeoffs. And so let's do that. Let's go schedules, material takeoff. And let's change the name of this to, oh, I got my cap lock on. Concrete. And the filter list, let's include structure. And we'll go OK. And let's see, we want to add family and type. And then some material. We're going to add material name, volume, and cost. So cost, name, and volume. And I want to reorder that one down to be the end. Okay, so now then, let's go to filter. And we're going to filter by material name. And let's say contains. Now, in filtering like this, it is case sensitive. So if you have a material, so the spelling has to be exact based on your material. If you are not careful with your capital letters, you're going to end up missing something. So let's go OK so we can look at this. Okay, so now as you can see, it picked up our cast in place concrete, but it also picked up our CMUs because concrete is in the name of that. So let's go back to filter. And if perchance you had some things that did not have a capital C in the material name, you could just leave that out and go concrete. Okay, that works also. But we really don't want concrete masonry units in this. So let's go back and filter that. And instead of saying concrete, let's say cast. Okay. And here's a place where in your project, all of your concrete material that is actually cast in place needs to be named cast in place concrete. Okay. Foundations, slabs, walls, things like that. If you're going to use material takeoffs. Okay. So now let's look at our schedule a little bit more here. So we've got a filtering system that works. So let's sort this stuff, and we'll sort first by family and type. And if we did by material, I mean, we're down to the only material name now. So, you know, we could do that. We don't have to do. Let's turn on grand totals. And I'm going to uncheck that one just to show you. And here under family and type, I want to add a footer. And we'll leave it at totals, okay? We'll leave both of these as totals right now, just so you can see what we're doing. Okay. So now as you can see, it brought everything down to one line. But on the wall foundation, it's not. I don't know why this is not picking up the material volume. Maybe it's because we have so many decimals. I don't know. Everything is the same units, so I'm not sure why it does that. But you can see our totals here really don't. It just tells us we've got one slab, and here it tells us we've got 8 footings for a total of 9 items. That doesn't help us much in a takeoff. But, that's the way that works out. So let's come back to here. Where was my notes? So if we go to volume, format, let's change that to 0 decimal places. And tell it OK. And let's see what we get. All right, so that pulled that back down. No, I'm fine with that. Okay, and so now on our let's say material cost. Let's say 350 per cubic foot. I'm looking for the calculate. So calculate totals. There we go. Now we get a total of cubic feet. Okay. Let's see what happens if we do material cost. Doesn't give us the option to that. Well, I'm sure we could figure something out. Anyway, you're usually not going to use Revit to do your material pricing, definitely for quantities. Okay, so that's how we could get a concrete takeoff. Now let's look at a brick schedule. So let's create another material takeoff. And this one, brick quantity, and it doesn't matter here, okay? So we'll say okay. And now then we need, really we need material name and area. So material area, material name. And let's reorder those. Okay. So now we need to sort it or filter it. Filter by material name. We'll do contains brick. Okay. All right, so we've got 4 instances of it because we've got 4 walls that have that. Sorting won't matter. Okay, but one thing we do want to do is add a calculated field here. And so let's go calculated parameter, and we're going to call this brick count, and it's going to be a formula. And so the formula is going to be the area times the number of bricks per square foot. So we'll go material area, and I'm going to say times 6.86. And you ask, how did you come up with 6.86? Well, a lot of brick manufacturers will have this dimensions table on their website. And so you need to look at, most of them are fairly common, but if you have an unusual type of brick, you need to look at the manufacturer that you're going to specify to find out that information. So we're using a modular type brick, which is 3 5/8 inch tall by 7 5/8 long. Okay. If you go down, look, standard brick is, you know, a little bit longer. It's an 8-inch long. I was looking for some other type names. I don't see them there. So we're going to stick with this right here. Oh, excuse me, not tall. That's the depth of it. 2 1/4 is standard height. 7 5/8 is standard length. This is 3 bricks tall for a CMU and 2 bricks long for a CMU, roughly. So it comes out to, that's not including the grout or the mortar lines. Okay, so we got 6.86 brick per square feet of wall. That's where I came up with that formula. Okay, so now we've got a count of bricks, but man, all of those decimal places don't really help us much. So let's go back into formatting here. And let's go to brick count. Oh, brick count and field format. Units fixed. And let's go 0. Yeah, 0 decimal places. Okay, and we could calculate totals, would be okay. And under here, we could do a grand total. But that just tells us we got 4 walls. But this gives us a total of brick used in the project. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pause the video here and then start a new one.